Hey guys, welcome back to my fifth vlog regarding my process of opening up an artist residency in Spain. Today I've been actually kind of procrastinating making this video. I just returned back to California about 2 days ago and I'm already back at work at my restaurant job, and I'm back in the studio. I just prepped some canvases yesterday, trying to get back in the routine. But the reason why I'm procrastinating making another vlog entry is because I was not successful in putting down a down payment for the artist residency that I was trying to do. So what happened was that before going to Spain, I'd been looking online and I'd been in contact with a real estate agent who had been scoping out some properties for me in Spain. There was one in particular that I'd been eyeballing for a while, and I sent my friend to go visit, and he took some pictures and videos, and then I sent the architect that I'm working with to kind of look at the floor plan and see if there was any way that we could kind of adjust and make it more conducive to an artist residency. So I arrived in Spain, I went to that first place, and I looked at it, and I walked in the door, and it kind of just hit me that I was in Spain trying to purchase property and that I was low-key psychopathic. So I walked around the place and I did the loop, and I realized that it wasn't the place of my dreams. Like, it looked good online and it looked good in the videos and the pictures, but I realized that what I was looking for is a little bit bigger. So I was looking at a 70 square meter place, and I was just feeling like it felt so small, like I needed more space. So I started to continue my search, and I started looking at some different properties, and the real estate agency really listened to my requests. So we started looking at some much bigger places, which means they're much more expensive as well. But I heard through the grapevine that my friend's house was actually for sale. She had been living there for several years. She moved out, but I had actually spent a month in that house. And it was a really cool place. It had some really great balconies to the street, nice clarity and light in there, and I had some memories there. So there was a little bit of heart and emotion in the equation. So I was like, oh my gosh, it would be so cool to have that. So I phone called them, and they offered a really low price to my friend when they offered to sell it to her. And when I called to, ask if it was for sale, they jumped the price way up. So I was like, no. So we ended up negotiating, and we reached a pretty decent, in the middle kind of number. Something that was more expensive than the first place I'd visited, but at also way more square meters than the first place. So, we're starting to get set. I was meeting with the financial advisor at the bank, and we were talking about the process of getting a loan and getting all my documentation together. And we were so close to signing papers and creating the contract, and then they called me the next day, and they're like, actually, we don't want to sell, because it turns out it was like a family of many different people, and so each one had a different opinion, and some wanted to sell and some didn't. So they ended up saying no and backing out, and that totally demoralized me. But I was like, I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to keep looking. And so I did. I kept looking, and I started, going to different locations and seeing really big properties and some that were potential options, but I just didn't have the feeling of this is it, this is the one. Because this isn't just a small little investment, this is a lifelong project. I'm buying an apartment flat that I want to do a full renovation. We're talking big numbers here for expenses, and I'm using up all my savings and taking out some loans as well. So I was like, if I'm going to do this, I need to do it right. And I was talking to the real estate agent, and they're like, listen, there's this other property that I think you're going to love, but it's a little bit outside your budget, but it's in the same building, so let's just go see it. So we went to see it, and it was this corner flat, and I walked in, and I was like, oh gosh, I love it. I was like, damn it, it's so cool. It was this, you walk in, and it's this really high ceiling place, white walls, had checkerboard floors, but I was going to get rid of that and put in some concrete wax floors. But I started doing this walk around the apartment, and each room had a street street view. So each of the bedrooms had balconies to the street. I think there were 7 balconies in total, and the bathroom was quite spacious, and it could be actually expanded, and the kitchen could be expanded as well. And it had this really kind of kooky, really fun, whimsical feel to it, and I could definitely see it being the artist residency of my dreams. And they said, it's at this really high price. They definitely overpriced it, but I think we can negotiate and get it to a lower price. And they offered me this number, and I was like, I don't know if I can do it. So I made some phone calls, and I asked my dad if he would be willing to give me a personal loan, and he said yes. So I started to embark on the negotiation process with the real estate agency. And I didn't really know what number to give them, and so I asked my architect friend what he had to say, and he said that it was way overpriced and that maybe the real estate agents were trying to make more money, and they said, well, it could probably go for this number, so give them a lower number, and then you can go up from there, Because if you start in the middle, you can't go lower, you can only go up. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I definitely lowballed the crap out of them. And apparently I really offended the owners, because the owners were actually quite wealthy and they owned several different properties and they didn't have that need to sell. And I didn't really know that at the time. And because it's the first time putting an offer on a house, I totally messed up. And so when I started the negotiation process, we started off on the wrong foot, and I tried to meet them somewhere in the middle, and they just would not budge. They lowered it, but they wouldn't lower it much, and then I upped it more, and then they just wouldn't move. And so they're going to hold on and wait till the market starts to go up again. So I was I was kind of in denial. I was like, damn it, I worked so hard. I feel like I have the energy and the time and the money, and or almost all the money, and I want to buy a deal. I don't want to pay full price for an apartment. I want to get a good deal, because I'm going to put in a full renovation, which is, money. So I came home, but I didn't come home empty-handed, because I felt like I learned so many new skills. I developed relationships with the architect that I'm working with. I had the opportunity to give them my idea of what I wanted and the vision for their artist residency. I got to meet with several different real estate agencies, so they are in contact with me. I have their number, and they are looking for that right place for me. So if it pops up, then they'll send it my way. I already opened up a bank account and transferred some funds, so I have enough to put down the signal to, make an offer for a house. And also I have a connection with the financial advisor who can help me with the mortgage and the loan and all that. And everything's ready. I feel like I just don't have enough capital right now in my bank to purchase such a big place. And so I think coming home, coming back to my job, and coming back to my studio, I definitely have this optimism that it's going to work out. I already talked to my job, and I'm going to work this entire summer. I'm not going to travel at all. And in September, I'm going to go back to Spain, and I am going to buy a place. And if that corner place ends up getting lowered in price, they said they'd contact me, so who knows. Nothing's for sure, but I'm just going to go with the flow, and I'll keep you posted. I'm not going to be purchasing anything probably till September, but I am just working out the details. I'm following all these different artist agencies or artist residencies around the world and trying to get ideas from them, and I might shoot a couple emails just to see how they did it, because this is something that I really want to do, and it's a big project, but I want it, and I want it so bad. So please continue to follow the journey. I know I don't have an artist residency right now, but it's gonna happen. And when it does happen, I know it'll be the right situation, and I'm sure it will work out just the way it's supposed to be. So thank you so much for following and for listening to this episode. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. You can follow me on my Instagram at bobbyfrank.com or bobbyfrank, or on my website bobernierfrank.com. So yeah, take care everyone. Thanks for following the journey. Love you all. Hasta luego.